We know that using wedge, or I call it wedge, it's really a diamond formation. Using a diamond formation on melee cavalry against shock cavalry is the way to do it. If I was to use my melee cavalry 2 ranks deep here and send them up against a shock cavalry unit that was also 2 ranks deep, the melee cavalry just loses too many men on the charge. That's the absolute worst way to use melee cavalry against enemy shock cavalry. Well, of course you could turn around, drop your pants, not charge, and say, "Come get me, tiger," and that would be worse. But in terms of charging, that's the worst way you could possibly do it. Now, there still remains the question of whether wedge formation, or diamond, is more effective against melee cavalry, and you can of course make a pretty educated guess about that, considering that the diamond formation here is going to increase charge speed. An increase in charge speed should correspond to an increase in mass, since impact damage is the relation between mass and speed. Increased charge speed should give increased mass, increased penetration. It's also going to let's see here. It's also going to increase. It's going to change the formation so that less men or more men are protected inside the formation, in comparison to being directly hit by enemy cavalry. But some weird things can happen with the wedge, and we'll see if it does. Or the diamond. But the main thing with the diamond is, one thing is the actual change in formation, how the formation looks, or how the formation interacts with an enemy formation, and of course the increase in charge speed. But it does decrease missile block chance and movement speed. So on the charge here, you can see what I mean with it causing less men to be hit by the enemy formation, because these cavalry units, 2 ranks deep, very few men are actually fighting here from the enemy formation, and that wastes a bit of charge bonus, I think. They are doing weird stuff, running around and then coming back. So no casualties yet. We're just going to fast forward and see what happens. So here we have 3 ranks deep, 2 ranks deep, and 3 ranks deep. Now the interesting thing though is that these are noble Germanic horsemen up against Germanic horsemen, and over here as well, nobles against standard, and here we have Germanics against Germanics. So let's just see which units manage to win here. My noble Germanic horse lose significantly to the Germanic horse here. And so upgraded Germanic horse beats noble Germanic horse, but if you just put your Germanic horse in wedge, they will also destroy the noble Germanic horse, which is very interesting, I think. Now over here, the Germanic horsemen lose against the Germanic horsemen in diamond formation, and over here the noble Germanic horsemen lose to the Germanic horse in diamond formation. So while diamond formation isn't, it has some issues against infantry units, charging down infantry units. It's very good against enemy cavalry, and it's very good against the defensive formations like wedge formation. It's square formation for spears. It's also quite useful against blocks of enemy infantry, so the cavalry doesn't run back and wrap around, and then you can't pull back again. But the main drawback to the wedge is the debuffs you get, and the reduction in speed, missile block chance. But if you can't get your units into diamond, and you can see that it takes 7 seconds, so if you can get your units into diamond and engage, it's going to be a fairly effective way of dealing with melee cavalry of similar quality and making sure that you come out on top in that engagement. Strength on honor.